In 2019, a couple from Oregon bought a brand new Keystone Montana fifth wheel for $85,000. They were retiring after 40 years of work, and this was supposed to be their dream machine for exploring America. Within 18 months, the roof was leaking, the slide-out mechanism had failed twice, and the frame had developed stress cracks near the axle mounts. By year 3, they sold it for $45,000 just to get out from under the repair costs. This is not an isolated incident. This is the standard American RV ownership experience in 2026. The recreational vehicle industry wants you to believe that RVs are getting better, more advanced, and more reliable. The reality is the opposite. Modern RVs are designed with a 5-year functional lifespan, and the numbers prove it. According to industry data, the average RV loses 20% of its value the moment it leaves the lot and continues depreciating at approximately 8 to 10% per year. But depreciation tells only half the story. The other half is structural failure, water damage, and systemic defects that make these vehicles uninhabitable long before they are paid off. Let us start with the most fundamental problem, which is construction speed. The RV industry operates on a production model that prioritizes volume over durability. Major manufacturers like Thor Industries, Forest River, and Winnebago build RVs on assembly lines where each unit spends mere hours at each station. A typical travel trailer moves through the production line in about 1 day. A Class A motorhome might take 3 days. Compare that to a residential home where construction takes months, and you begin to understand why RVs fall apart. When you are building a 35-foot travel trailer in 8 hours, there is no time for precision. Screws get stripped, sealant gets missed, and structural components get installed incorrectly. The workers are not bad people. They are just human beings working under impossible time constraints. One former Forest River employee described the reality on an online forum. He said workers were expected to install entire plumbing systems in under 30 minutes. When you are moving that fast, you do not have time to check if every fitting is tight or if every connection is properly sealed. You just move to the next unit and hope for the best. This assembly line approach creates a cascading series of defects that compound over time. A screw that was installed crooked in 2024 becomes a water leak in 2026 and a rotted wall by 2028. The RV industry knows this, which is why their warranties are structured the way they are. Most manufacturers offer a 1-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. After that, you are on your own. They know the defects will not show up immediately. They show up after you have driven the RV off the lot and the warranty clock has started ticking. The second structural problem is weight. Modern RVs are caught in an impossible contradiction. Buyers want more features, more appliances, more storage, and more living space. But federal regulations limit the total weight that can be towed by consumer vehicles. The solution is to build lighter, which means using thinner materials, cheaper components, and less structural reinforcement. A typical modern travel trailer has walls that are 2 inches thick. Those walls consist of a thin layer of exterior fiberglass, a wooden frame made of furring strips, foam insulation, and an interior panel made of laminated vinyl. The entire assembly has less structural integrity than a residential interior wall, and it is expected to survive highway speeds, temperature swings of 100 degrees, and constant vibration. The wooden frames inside RV walls are particularly problematic. Manufacturers use wood because it is cheap and light, but wood is also the worst possible material for a vehicle that will be exposed to moisture. Even a small leak can saturate the wooden frame, and once wood gets wet inside an enclosed wall cavity, it never fully dries. Mold begins growing within 48 hours, and the wood begins to rot. Within 2 years, the structural integrity of the entire wall is compromised. You cannot see this happening from the outside because the exterior fiberglass skin hides the decay. But if you push on the wall, it will flex and bow in ways that solid construction never would. Water intrusion is the single most common cause of RV failure, and it is also the most predictable. RVs have dozens of potential leak points. Every window, every door, every roof vent, every exterior light fixture, and every slide-out mechanism is a potential entry point for water. Manufacturers seal these penetrations with butyl tape and silicone caulk, but these sealants degrade over time. Butyl tape hardens and cracks in UV exposure. Silicone caulk shrinks and pulls away from seams. The RV industry recommends that owners inspect and reseal their RVs every 6 months. But most owners do not know this, and even those who do often lack the knowledge to identify problem areas before water has already penetrated. The roof is the most vulnerable area. RV roofs are made from rubber membranes like EPDM or TPO, and these materials are designed to last 10 to 15 years under ideal conditions. But RV roofs are not under ideal conditions. They are subjected to constant UV exposure, temperature extremes, and physical stress from expanding and contracting as the RV heats and cools. Every time you drive your RV under a tree branch, you risk puncturing the membrane. Every time you walk on the roof to clean your air conditioner, you risk damaging the substrate underneath. When the roof fails, water pours directly into the ceiling cavity, saturating insulation and wooden roof joists. By the time you notice the damage, usually from a brown stain on your ceiling, thousands of dollars in repairs are already necessary. Slide-out mechanisms represent another systemic failure point. Slide-outs are the sections of the RV that extend outward to create additional living space, and they are a marvel of engineering that never should have been applied to lightweight construction. A typical slide-out weighs between 800 and 2,000 pounds, and it is cantilevered off the side of the RV on rails and gears. The seals around slide-outs must remain flexible enough to compress when the slide is retracted, but firm enough to keep water out when the slide is extended. These seals fail constantly. Slide-out motors burn out. Slide-out rails bend under the weight, and when a slide-out fails, it often fails while extended, which means you cannot retract it to drive your RV. You are stuck wherever you are until you can get a mobile repair technician to come to you, and that repair will cost thousands of dollars. The appliances inside modern RVs are designed for obsolescence. RV refrigerators are not the same as residential refrigerators. They use absorption cooling systems that run on propane, 12-volt DC power, or 120-volt AC power. These systems are less efficient than compressor-based refrigerators, and they fail frequently. The average lifespan of an RV refrigerator is 7 to 10 years, but many fail sooner due to the constant vibration and jostling of travel. When they fail, you cannot just replace them with a standard residential refrigerator because RV refrigerators are built into custom cabinet spaces with specific venting requirements. You must buy another RV-specific refrigerator, which costs between $1,200 and $3,000. RV air conditioning units are mounted on the roof, which means they are exposed to the full force of sun, rain, and road debris. They are also expected to cool spaces with poor insulation and constant air leakage. A typical RV air conditioner draws 13 to 15 amps, which is near the limit of what a 30-amp RV electrical system can handle. When you run the air conditioner along with other appliances, you are constantly tripping breakers or overloading the system. The compressors in these units fail regularly, and replacement costs $800 to $1,500 per unit. Many larger RVs have 2 or even 3 air conditioning units, which means multiple failure points. The plumbing systems in RVs are designed with cost as the primary consideration. Most RV plumbing uses PEX tubing, which is flexible plastic piping that can be routed through tight spaces. PEX is fine for residential applications where it remains stationary, but in an RV, it is subjected to constant vibration and flexing. The fittings that connect PEX tubing are compression fittings or crimp fittings, and these fittings can loosen over time. When a fitting fails, water sprays inside your wall cavity or under your floor, and you will not notice until significant damage has occurred. The freshwater tank, gray water tank, and black water tank are typically made from polyethylene plastic and held in place with straps or brackets. These tanks flex and move as the RV travels, and the mounting hardware can fail, especially if the tanks are full. The electrical systems in modern RVs are a maze of undersized wiring, overloaded circuits, and poor connections. RVs operate on 3 separate electrical systems simultaneously. You have 12-volt DC power from the house batteries, 120-volt AC power from shore power or a generator, and the vehicle's 12-volt starting system if it is a motorhome. These systems are interconnected through converters and inverters, and any failure in one system can cascade into others. The wiring itself is often undersized for the amperage it carries, which leads to voltage drop, overheating, and potential fire hazards. Electrical fires in RVs are more common than the industry wants to admit, and they often start in hidden areas like behind walls or under floors where poor connections generate heat. Tires on RVs fail at alarming rates. RV tires are not the same as passenger car tires. They are designed to carry heavy loads at sustained highway speeds, but they are also one of the most neglected maintenance items. Most RV owners do not check tire pressure regularly, and they do not realize that RV tires have a shelf life regardless of tread depth. The rubber compounds in tires degrade over time due to UV exposure and ozone, and most tire manufacturers recommend replacing RV tires every 5 to 7 years regardless of how many miles they have been driven. A blowout on an RV is catastrophic. The tire explodes with enough force to damage wheel wells, undercarriage components, and even the body of the RV. If the blowout occurs on a dual-axle trailer, the remaining tire on that side can fail within minutes from the sudden increase in load. You are now driving a 10,000-pound trailer on 3 tires, and you have almost no control. The frame itself, which should be the most durable component, is often the source of failure. RV frames are welded steel or aluminum structures, but the welds are not always properly executed. Stress cracks develop near welds, especially in areas where the frame flexes during travel. The axle mounts, the tongue connection, and the points where the frame meets the body are all high-stress areas where cracks commonly appear. Once a frame cracks, it cannot be reliably repaired. You are looking at a total loss on a vehicle that may have cost $100,000. The industry uses a warranty structure that protects manufacturers and leaves buyers exposed. When you buy an RV, you receive a warranty from the manufacturer, but that warranty is limited in both time and scope. The typical warranty covers defects in materials and workmanship for 1 year. After that, individual components may have separate warranties from their manufacturers. Your refrigerator is covered by Dometic, your air conditioner is covered by Coleman, and your furnace is covered by Suburban. When something breaks, you have to figure out which company is responsible and then navigate their individual warranty claim process. Many manufacturers require that warranty work be performed at authorized service centers, and these service centers are often booked months in advance. You cannot just take your RV to any repair shop. You have to take it to an authorized facility, and you have to wait for an appointment. The service infrastructure for RVs is completely inadequate. There are not enough trained technicians, not enough service bays, and not enough parts in the distribution system. When your RV breaks down, you're often looking at weeks or months before you can get it repaired. Mobile RV technicians exist, but they charge premium rates and often have limited diagnostic equipment. The parts supply chain is slow because RV manufacturers use custom components that are not available at standard auto parts stores. If you need a specific bracket or seal or control board, it has to be ordered from the manufacturer, and delivery times can stretch to 6 months or more. The resale market reflects the reality of RV durability. A 5-year-old RV is worth approximately 50% of its original purchase price, and that assumes it has been well maintained and has no significant defects. Many 5-year-old RVs are worth even less because buyers are wary of hidden problems. When you try to sell a used RV, potential buyers will inspect it thoroughly for signs of water damage, frame issues, and appliance failures. If they find problems, they will either walk away or demand steep discounts. The market is flooded with used RVs because so many owners are trying to escape from vehicles that have become money pits. The financing structure makes this problem worse. Most RV buyers finance their purchases over 10 to 20 years, which means they are making payments long after the vehicle has depreciated below the loan balance. If your RV suffers a catastrophic failure in year 3, you cannot just walk away. You are underwater on the loan, which means you owe more than the RV is worth. Your options are to continue making payments on a vehicle you cannot use, to pay the difference out of pocket to settle the loan, or to let the RV be repossessed and take the credit hit. The insurance industry understands RV failure rates better than anyone, which is why RV insurance premiums are high and coverage is limited. Most RV insurance policies exclude gradual damage, which means water intrusion and rot are not covered. If your roof leaks slowly over 2 years and destroys the interior, that is your problem, not the insurance company's problem. Insurance covers sudden and accidental damage like collisions or fire, but it does not cover the slow deterioration that is built into the design of these vehicles. There are some manufacturers that build better quality RVs, but they are the exception, not the rule. Airstream has a reputation for durability because they use aluminum construction and rivet their frames together, rather than relying on wood and staples. Oliver Travel Trailers builds fiberglass units with fully enclosed construction that eliminates many water intrusion points. But these manufacturers represent a tiny fraction of the market, and their products cost significantly more than mass-market RVs. An equivalent-sized Oliver trailer costs twice as much as a Forest River, and most buyers cannot justify the expense. The people who succeed with RVs long-term are the ones who treat them like boats. They inspect everything regularly, they reseal penetrations every year, they upgrade components before they fail, and they budget thousands of dollars annually for maintenance and repairs. They understand that an RV is not a turnkey appliance. It is a high-maintenance machine that requires constant attention. Most buyers do not understand this going in, and by the time they figure it out, they have already invested too much money to walk away. The question you have to ask yourself is whether this is acceptable. You are being sold a product that costs as much as a house, depreciates like a car, and requires constant maintenance like a boat. The manufacturers know their products will not last, which is why they structure warranties to expire before the major problems appear. The dealers know their products will not last, which is why they push extended warranties and service packages. The only person who does not know is the buyer, and by the time you figure it out, you have already signed the paperwork. If you are considering buying a new RV, you need to go in with your eyes open. Budget an additional 10% of the purchase price annually for maintenance and repairs. Inspect your RV every month for signs of water intrusion. Learn how to reseal windows and vents yourself because paying someone else to do it will cost hundreds of dollars per visit. Understand that appliances will fail and plan for replacement costs. And most importantly, accept that your RV will not survive 5 years without significant intervention on your part. The alternative is to buy used, but only if you know what to look for. A well-maintained 5-year-old RV from a quality manufacturer can be a better value than a new RV from a mass-market brand. But you need to hire a professional inspector who specializes in RVs, and you need to be prepared to walk away if they find evidence of water damage or structural issues. The used market is full of problems that sellers are trying to offload onto unsuspecting buyers. The RV industry will not fix this problem on their own because they have no incentive to do so. As long as buyers keep purchasing new RVs based on features and floor plans, rather than construction quality, manufacturers will continue building them the same way. The only thing that will force change is buyers demanding better quality and refusing to accept vehicles that are designed to fail. Until that happens, most new RVs will not survive 5 years, and the buyers will be left holding the bill.